Welcome back to the channel where we explore, learn, and theorize about the Marvel Universe. Today we're going to be talking about the Power Rangers in the Marvel Universe. If you're new to the channel, or even if you've been watching for a while, make sure you subscribe, because more than 96% of you guys aren't subscribed. And if you think that you're subbed, double check, because apparently there's a glitch where people are getting unsubscribed from certain channels. And remember that a subscription is free for you, but it really helps the channel a lot. And you can always unsub later if you want. Now let's get started. While the Power Rangers inhabit a totally different universe, once upon a time, they were almost Marvel superheroes. And it almost happened because of Stan Lee, when Marvel nearly adopted Toei's Super Sentai series for American audiences. That very same franchise would be officially adapted by Haim Saban to become Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the 90s phenomenon that's still going strong 25 years later. In the 70s, Lee aimed to elevate Marvel not just as a comics publisher, but as a powerhouse brand with original intellectual property to sell across other mediums. After some hardship, Lee eventually brought Marvel to TV in 1978's The Amazing Spider-Man, which starred Nicholas Hammond as the web-slinging hero. Spider-Man lasted just 13 episodes on CBS, but the series was a hit in Japan. This prompted Marvel, with the help of Gene Pelc, whom Lee dubbed Marvel's man in Japan, to work with Japanese studio Toei Company, which wielded its own unique franchises such as Kamen and Super Sentai. Toei and Marvel then entered a professional partnership that lasted several years. It started in 1978 with Toei's Spider-Man series that dramatically reinterpreted Spider-Man and gave him a giant robot, but kept his red and blue spandex outfit. Marvel also helped Toei produce TV shows, namely Battle Fever J, whose starting character, Battle Japan, was to be the Japanese equivalent of Captain America. Marvel also produced another series, Denshi Sentai Denziman, but it was the one after that titled Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan that captured Stan Lee's imagination. In a May 1983 issue of Comics Interview, which is the most detailed and surviving account of Toei and Marvel's collaboration, Pelc describes how Lee was enamored with the Sun Vulcan, a trio of superheroes who use karate and a giant mecha to fight evil. I just talked to Stan Lee about a half hour ago, and he's so in love with the program. He said that in all his experience of writing, if they could see the show in America on Saturday morning, it would wipe out anything else, because it's full of action and very entertaining. Pelc then explained in full detail precisely how Marvel would bring Sun Vulcan to Western audiences, and it's eerily similar to how Saban would produce Power Rangers years later, saying he can sell it as is with a new voice track, or take the prints and cut out the parts where Japanese actors appear, which is only about 1/3 of the film, reshoot that with American actors, and cut back to the special effects and opticals and visuals, thus creating a series that looks American. Unfortunately, Marvel and Stan Lee were never given serious consideration by potential networks. A $25,000 sizzle reel made by Loesch and Marvel failed to convey what Lee saw in 3 color-coded superheroes fighting rubber monsters. Networks called it too foreign and junk. However, Loesch would be proven right years later, when she left Marvel and joined the new Fox Kids network in the early 90s. Loesch vowed to Lee to produce the Marvel programming they had hoped to make together, and this vow eventually led to the creation of successful animated Marvel shows on Fox Kids, like the X-Men and Spider-Man, which played a crucial role in establishing a built-in audience for their eventual Hollywood adaptations. But entirely separate was the greenlight for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. After Toei and Marvel's partnership ended, music mogul Haim Saban scooped up the rights for Super Sentai from Toei. Several years later, Saban had a show with Japanese superheroes to pitch, and it was up to none other than Margaret Loesch to decide its fate. So although by that point the partnership had ended and the characters became their own franchise, if things had gone slightly different or taken place a couple years later, the Power Rangers could have very well been part of the Marvel Universe. But let me know what you guys think about all this. How do you think the Marvel Universe would have changed if the Power Rangers were Marvel heroes? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.